That one is a photo finish, boy. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good night, according to the time that you tune into this. Welcome to International, where we focus on and have conversations with Trinis making their mark and interfacing with the world. Today is a show of a lot of moving parts. Today is a kind of puzzle. I had the idea of putting together Sunday night actually, which is bad practice for TV shows. Are realizing, well, broadcast and podcast alike. But I think we have a show. We have all the parts together at least. So we just we trying to put it together as the thing go. Like I said before, sometimes this show is like South Park. We don't know what going on happen until the camera's rolling. But welcome again. My name is Valdez Brooks. I'm your host of International on O.U.R Radio FM. We have a few things to talk about today. We have a real interesting guest, a good friend of mine, somebody who is such a good friend. I had to break my own rules in a way to get him on the show today. But I think it's important, and I believe that comes through in our conversation that you will see in a little bit. Some things I need to explain about the interview. The man in Trinidad, but we didn't bring him in station because, well, he's still on a kind of semi-quarantine. So I don't really want to expose nobody to that Maduro virus, boy. You hear my voice singing? You see what you see? It's still there a kind of way. So we had a little conversation online that I find was real interesting. I learned quite a few things about somebody who I know a long time, which is something of a theme on this show. Getting to know people's stories and people's journeys and their background is very interesting because we meet each other at different points on that journey, and sometimes you wouldn't know what took place before or how they came to be who they were when you met them. Right, that is what I mean to say. So so we have that going on. I know all you're watching the outfit. This is also explained in the interview, but I just want to give a shout out to my aunt in Baltimore, Jayron, because if I don't, I'll get licks as a big man, right? So Jayron, London, hi auntie. When you're watching this, just hello. So we're moving on to we have a nice interview. It's a full talk with Jayron, DJ Rawkus, Remy, about his life and times and his journey so far in his multiple careers and the skills that have served him well that he's picked up during that journey. We will go to that just now, and then after that interview, we will come back and we have something to talk. I hope we have good news by then. I'm going to work on that in the background while all you're watching the interview. So we'll take a little break, and then we're coming back straight into that interview with Jayron, DJ, Rawkus, Remy.
Need to raise funds for your next creative project, event, or invention? Or maybe you or a family member are raising funds for much-needed medical treatment. Now, you can get started raising that much-needed cash via Donate68.com, the newest 100% homegrown crowdfunding platform in Trinidad and Tobago. Donate68.com accepts donations from all major credit cards, but not only that, for those without a credit card, you can use your everyday Visa debit card to make donations. So log on today and create a campaign for your next passion project, startup, or cause. Share your campaign with your community of family, friends, and supporters to get the financial backing you need. Donate68.com, funding your culture.
recording, right? Yes, welcome everybody. Welcome to International. A little inside joke there. You know how the thing does go. We Trinese, a man had to get a little pick on. So what we doing today, boy, and why does man have on a NFL jersey? Well, today I had to call our audible, boy. For those of you who familiar with American football, I know we're not going to talk about American football today per se, but for those of you familiar with American football, sometimes the set play that the team in possession of the ball has to make could be changed or is changed by the quarterback. And it's their decision to make that just before the play is enacted. And that is called an audible. And that is what I doing today. I call in an audible because I is the QB here, right? We have commitments for people in Uganda. We have trainees in Japan. We have trainees in the UK. We have trainees in LA who waiting to get an interview done. And we were supposed to cover all of that this week, but I say, you know what's going on? Forget all of that. We have something more important to talk about. And what we are to talk about today is the team that I see coming up in this show, right? Which is trainees being ready for opportunities. Recognizing opportunities, being ready for your opportunities, and sometimes, which we're going to talk about today, missing opportunities. And next thing about the American football that I want to talk about briefly, that is connected. Watch me, everything going to make sense when we're done today, And next thing I want to talk about is this team, my team, Baltimore Ravens, firing the head coach, John Harbaugh, right? Who took his expertise and experience to the heights with this team. And he's one of the most respected coaches in this sport. And because with the team that they had, which was a great team on paper for the past, 4 or 5 years, that team couldn't even make the playoffs, which is kind of like the semifinals in the NFL this year. And as a result, he was fired, which is the business of the game, right? And that is part of it. And I was kind of miffed about that. But when you really think about it, with all the tools and the experience and everything that he had, he couldn't turn it around as the head coach, and he had to stand the responsibility as the leader, right? So he was fired. So we're going to talk about a next man who get fired, but it's the opposite. And I didn't want to have that kind of conversation on this show, but I think it's important, and I think it's something that we need to recognize. And for a very personal reason, I want to talk to this fella to get some closure on something, right? So all that to introduce my buddy and friend, my brother in Kaiso. I have to say, this man is truly a fan of the culture of Trinidad. He is deeply involved as we will explore in the next few minutes. Deeply involved in the progression of it, the performance of it, in the crafting of it. He's also involved in culture in many different ways. But I'll let him explain. And I want to introduce my partner, Jayron, a.k.a. DJ Rawkus, Remy. Welcome to International, my brethren.
Thank you very much for having me. I was very surprised to be requested as a guest on a show about international Trinidadians.
Well, listen, you kind of are. No, you definitely are.
Taking it?
yeah, and I want to connect those dots and those threads first, right?
Right.
But so it doesn't seem like much of a stretch because it's a kind of stretch thing. But I really wanted to talk to you. I didn't expect to talk to you. A lot of the reason why you're on this show is a surprise to me.
Bacchanal.
Yeah.
It's bacchanal.
Nah,
That's
it's not
what.
bacchanal. It's not bacchanal. I ain't trying to go there with it. I just trying to clear the air on something for me personally, and like I say to get some closure on recent events, right? So let me start from the beginning. Jayron, Remy, right? Let me start from I don't know, primary school. Tell us about your background and your upbringing. Let me start from primary school because I feel there's a critical root somewhere in the back there.
I mean, the critical root is home. The household that I grew up in, the parents that I had, that's where the root is, the foundation of it all, really.
Nice.
Because the radio was something that was always in the house. It was on. The radio was on. The radio used to be the first thing the alarm would wake up, and it's the radio that is on. Like the alarm wasn't like a noise; it was the radio turn on was the alarm.
Okay.
So music and I mean, my parents both love Trinidad and Tobago's music a lot. My father collects records, and he had an amazing collection of, like, he would go to the record store and buy the next Kitchener the day it dropped. Like, he's collecting Kitchener albums. He have Sparrow. He have all the greats. I think he only ever had two non-Trinbagonian artists, or non-Caribbean artists, I should say. And that was Michael Jackson. And I think it was two Michael Jackson albums. It was the Jackson 5 and it was the Michael Jackson. But other than that, everything else.
All right. Well,
local.
yeah. I mean, you can't fault a man for some
Yeah,
Jackson
yeah,
5.
I
Oh
mean,
gosh.
it's Michael Jackson, you know.
Yeah.
But that for me is the root. Like, I remember, I have very clear memories of my father picking me up, and in his car he had a Toyota Corolla, right? It was the kind of box looking one, and he had a cassette player in it, and he had a spoiler cassette. And I used to be so excited to go in the car just to play that spoiler cassette because it had these hilarious songs on it.
Right.
And all of these stories were so out of this world. And I think, some of those memories stand out to me as the root of my love for the culture and the art form and that sort of thing.
Nice.
I don't think that my primary school had much to do with it.
Oh, really?
I went to Holy Name Prep. So Calypso wasn't really,
Well, that explains that.
Yeah, wasn't much of their focus. I mean, I think they've done a lot of work since then, but at that point, it was neither here nor there. But in CIC, which is where I went to secondary school, I had more access to music, but it wasn't Calypso, soca, and those things. I mean, we had that. We had that, like, you had the school shows and the carnival things, and you had those things happening every year, and they were teachers very committed to making sure that those things happened. Big up man like Miguel Brown, who was a main force in CIC when it comes to cultural activities, Lindy and Borden Rich. And these people were there when I was in school, and they were making sure that, you got musical, whatever side of it you were getting. But while I was in stage 7 is where I became a DJ. My cousin was also a DJ, and he helped, we used to go and fall by him, and eventually he showed me how to mix. And then we just practice. And but at that point, I wasn't studying nothing local. It was dance hall. It was hard dance hall, and hip hop came along too, but it was more dance hall than anything else. And we was going out and playing in parties, and I remember I was like in Form 4, and we go into party and then come into school the next day and thing. We weren't like big prolific DJs in any way, but we get opportunity and we go.
Right, yeah.
And we would play in the little school shows and house party things. And eventually we had a little DJ group, but most of the guys fell off for the DJ group. And me and Gonzo were left. and we call ourselves a group called Rawkus and Gonzo Entertainment, Rage.
Wow, real creative, boy.
And we used to play all over the place.
Oh, so that's the connection with Gonzo. So that's since what, secondary school?
Yeah, me
Right.
and Gonzo throw back to secondary school, yeah. When we linked up. So while we were doing that work, I went to Form 6 in Belmont Sec for 1 year, and then I went to Corpus Christi for 2 years, right?
Right.
In Form 6, after Form 6, Gonzo went to work, or was it an internship or something? I don't remember what it was. But he was working for this company called Rhythm, I think was the name of the company. Anyway, the people at the forefront of the company who were running it at the time was Lorraine O'Connor and Roses Hezekiah. Now, these people are people who have been movers and shakers in the business that we didn't know about because we didn't come from their circle. So he got a job as entertainment work, and he was like, yeah. And when he gets in there, he met Wendell Manwaran. Now, I had met Wendell because Wendell came to do a show in CIC. He directed a show in CIC.
Okay.
And Contagious was the name of the show. It was like a fashion show, but it had acting and thing in it. So big up Michelle Ayonchi. And Wendell came to direct it. And so I was the MC, but I was a rapping MC. So it's like telling the story of Romeo and Juliet, and I am rapping out my parts, which I wrote myself.
Wait. Like hip hop rapping or just spoken word beat kind of thing?
It was hip hop rapping with all the accent, you know. It was I don't know what you call that.
Oh yes, you didn't have accent no.
Oh no, I didn't. I never had that challenge. That's never been a thing that I had to deal with.
All right. Well, respect for
it's
that.
always been it's always been doing it like this or hard luck. It can't happen. Me and the accents do go too well.
Nice.
But yeah, so me and Wendell met and we worked together then, and then later on Gonzo would have met him, and he mentioned to Gonzo that he was looking for DJs for their show with the idea that he had, that how he wanted to present the show. So Gonzo was like, well, yeah, me and Rawkus, let's do this thing. And he said, come and meet him. And when we meet him, he said, yeah, I know you thing from CIC, right. And we kind of we did the show. That, I don't know, that was Jab in the Box was the name of that show. That was the song Happy Song.
Right, that was,
the Oxman years.
Little Carib Theater.
It was Little Carib
Right,
Theater.
okay, yeah.
And they had me and Gonzo up in the corner.
In the corner, yeah.
Yeah, and it was like a radio station called the MLF, the Music Liberation.
Yes.
And we were basically introducing what they now call the pre-show acts. But at that point, it was like they were just, the young and upcoming artists. So we had like Black Lyrics, Ola Tunji, Jillian was there as well. I don't remember who else, but yeah, Shaft was a part of that as well. Shaft was there. So yeah, and I met Tricanal at that point and was working with Tricanal, and we kind of did more or less every show since then. I've been a part of Tricanal shows for a long time. And that definitely had a big part to play in me getting into a whole different level of appreciation for calypso and music in general. I mean, everybody knows it's like Peter Minshad as Wendell, cultural father.
Yeah,
that is my cultural
mentor,
father in that way.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's like that. Now, like I feel like Peter Minshad is like my grandfather, but cultural grandfather. And in that regard, I learned a lot, and I still learn from them. But I learned a lot, and I learned how to appreciate it as well, and I learned how to make sure that you don't. I guess you don't mess it up.
Yeah.
It's something that there's something about it that should be preserved, and there's a way to preserve it, but there isn't really a formula or a real way to do it. But there's a thing that needs to make sure that it transcends from generation to generation with all the changes, with all the evolutions, with all the iterations.
Yeah,
certain things need to remain consistent. So that's the roots, I think. Everything else after that is gravy.
Yeah. So yours with
because the
those
DJ thing also took me. The DJ thing also took me to work on Boom Champions. 98.9 first back in the day.
Right.
And then after 98.9 closed down, I went away to school and I did sound engineering and audio production in school in Boston. And then I came back to a job at Boom Champions and I worked there for about 5 years, I think. But that also was happening simultaneously with the Tree Canal. So I was experiencing learning about the culture, learning about that side of the respect for the thing under, Tree Canal. But I was also, on urban radio, whatever
Right.
that means.
So I want to come back. I want to come back to that. We'll take a small break here. I'm trying to keep the breaks on them neat.
I hear you.
We'll come back to that. Trev, let me take a break here. And I want to talk about your experience in school abroad when we come back. So we'll see you in a bit.
Need to raise funds for your next creative project, event, or invention? Or maybe you or a family member are raising funds for much needed medical treatment. Now, you can get started raising that much needed cash via Donate68.com, the newest 100% homegrown crowdfunding platform in Trinidad and Tobago. Donate68.com accepts donations from all major credit cards, but not only that, for those without a credit card, you can use your everyday Visa debit card to make donations. So log on today and create a campaign for your next passion project, startup, or cause. Share your campaign with your community of family, friends, and supporters to get the financial backing you need. Donate68.com, funding your culture.
Yes, and we're back. We're back with Jayron, DJ Rawkus, Remy. Put him on the screen now. We talking. Yeah. So when we left just now, you covered the journey up until this will be what, university level, right? Which was outside of Trinidad. You didn't go to UWI at all.
I went to UWI just the other day, right as the pandemic hit.
Well, look at
right
that.
As the pandemic hit.
Well, boy, we are definitely not going to talk about our pandemic on this show. So you mentioned Boston, right? Was the school and the discipline? Talk to us about the experience of and the work ethic, discipline, things like that you would have had to experience out there.
I mean, it was growing up in real time. That's what it was. You went from secondary school to basically being an adult responsible for most things yourself.
Right.
And that
that too, yeah.
It's a sharp learning curve when you're not with your family. Like, we are accustomed to living life a particular way.
Right.
And here in Trinidad, like, you go find somebody close by. You always know, like, for example, just today, right, we were having challenges with the technical part of things. And I find somebody house close by with a Wi-Fi.
With our Wi-Fi.
From. There was no doing that just so
right.
in Boston. But I did have family that was reasonably close by. I used to try and go and visit them like once a week. But it's not people who I even really grew up with. I knew them.
Right.
And we got closer over the time I was there. But at first it was a little strange. But it was good. It was great having them. They were the closest I could get. And
your support system.
Of course.
Yeah.
The experience, I went to the New England Institute of Art in Boston. It was in Brookline, Massachusetts. This is right one of the little cities in and around Boston. It was like 2 stops on the train from Fenway Park and BU. And there are like 1 million colleges in that city. So
right.
We have so many of them right in that little area. So the school was in Brookline, and then we lived in Waltham, which was where they had the dorms, which was about, I want to say, a half an hour ride on the train away from the school. So the school is in one location, the dorms half an hour away on the train, half an hour and a bus ride. So, needless to say, when it was winter, it was a tumultuous journey because you had to take the bus ride,
that's a hell of a trek.
train.
Yeah.
You understand? And this was your boy first time seeing
and this
snow.
Is Boston too, so that's no easy. That cold ain't easy. So
first day,
that's maritime side, right?
Huh?
That's maritime, yeah. Boston is, like.
Oh yeah. It's on the water. On the water. Plenty water. But yeah, we The first time I see snow, I was like running around because my first semester we actually didn't have dorm rooms for everybody, so they put some of us to live in a hotel. So which was a shorter walk to the train, but you know it was still in the same general area.
Right.
And the first day I looked out my window and I saw snow falling from the sky, and I was like going crazy. I
Flurries or
run up
snow?
and down
The real
corridor.
snow or just the light things.
It was the
coming
light
in?
flurries. It was the light flurries, but it was
Yeah.
the first time I'm seeing this thing falling from the sky, and
Yeah,
I'm like, "What is
the first
happening?"
time I saw snow, it was flurries, and I thought this was a real thing until went and sleep, get up, and then see snow, brother.
Same thing with me, right? Because everybody else is like, "Why he getting on so?" And then somebody just yelled, "That's it, that's the Trini," and they were like, "Oh, all right, cool," and everybody just went about their business like normal. And we was
Yeah.
like, "Okay, yeah. First time seeing snow." But I learned, like I said, I learned a lot in terms of growing up, being responsible for yourself, being responsible for everything from your food to your school fees,
Yeah,
making
hygiene.
sure you want at class on time, yeah, making sure that you get your homework done, making sure that you do mess this up because my father was spending plenty money for it now, boy.
Yeah.
So they had no messing it up, and he made sure and reminded me of that, every so often. There was no messing this up.
As
But
a Caribbean parent would be want to do,
I mean, if I spend a certain amount of money, you better not mess it up. Let's be real.
Yeah, for
Let's
sure.
be real. But no, I'm very grateful for that Boston experience. I also got a few jobs while I was up there. One I wasn't supposed to have.
I know when and say you could talk about it now.
Well, I almost got deported.
Wow.
When the school found out that I was DJing on this boat, right? And I mean, the guy was paying me cash. It was fine,
Right.
as far as I was aware. Until I realized they told me no on your visa, you're not allowed to do. I was like, all right, what? All right, cool, I'm done. I'm not doing it no more. That's it. Fed up. We good. And then what they ended up doing was saying, well, since you like working on it so much, you could work as an internship, which I was allowed to do. So they did up the paperwork, and his company hired me. Not to DJ. I couldn't DJ because that was a paid job.
Professional position.
But I got to work in the company, which kind of helped me learn a little bit more about event planning and event production. So yeah.
So we following this thing, and we getting pieces and bits of where your range, not only your range, but your range and skill set, where these things come from. So what were you actually studying? You said
right, sound engineering and audio production.
So that is the core of your academic endeavors then, and you're doing doing the DJing, which you have experience
Well,
with.
that's the thing, right? Because I was doing the DJing, my father was like, you better go and get some papers to support this. And I'm like, to support DJing? How people work to support DJing? And then he was like, well, find something. So of course I did all the Percy Parker stuff. I did the rock course with Easy Rock. Like I did that stuff already, so I had that paperwork.
Hey, shout out to Percy, boy.
Yeah, man, every time.
Yeah.
He say, you need to go and get some more. And I didn't think media and communications at the point in time. I thought DJing, so I thought sound engineering.
Sound engineering, okay.
Yeah, and I thought it was close, I thought I was gonna learn to produce music, basically. I mean, I kind of learned that, but not really. I learned more of the science behind the sound.
Right, which is an important discipline.
It's crucial.
Yeah.
It's crucial. It's crucial.
Because if you're producing the thing, you should know the tools that are available to you. So if
you're working with it, you have
more colors.
You should know how it operates.
Yeah, exactly. So all right, so you amassed this wide skill set now, and it's time to come back, or you decided to come back to Trinidad?
I decided to come back. One at the time, my mom had recently, well, while I was in school, I think she went blind completely.
Oh.
And she had a brain tumor. And so I was coming home to be closer to her and to make sure that, I was around.
Right, yeah.
Because ironically, like the day when I made up my mind, I was like, the day I'm leaving, I got a job offer in a studio like that was linked to Sony Studios,
As it would happen, as the
as it would
universe would
happen.
test you.
But I mean, at that point, I had already decided I was coming back home, and I already had a job lined up at Boom Champions as well. So I don't regret that decision at all. It would have been a whole different career path, but yeah, I don't regret it at all.
Yeah. I mean, life throws these things at you, boy. So you came back and you said Boom Champions. I trying to remember when I first noticed this Rawkus fella, boy. I think, well, I would have seen you at the same Little Carib theater show and those things, but I think is when you came back, you know. So I may have noticed the change in your in your whole presentation. I say, but this fella talking as a DJ, right? I say, this fella talking, sounding different. He's articulate. He making good points. He making sense. Right? And he not necessarily shouting at everybody in our party. But wait, now, that is not the same fella who was ting. And then I think he was moving with Marcus as well.
Brave Boy, yeah.
Yeah, Marcus Brave Boy and Marcus Sammy is who I'm thinking about.
Sammy, we were rolling up with Trick Canal days. So
yes, in Street Canal, right? So I probably that's probably conflated, but yeah, I did notice that, and you were standing out. I say, this fella actually talking and making sense, and I admire that. And then the calypso start to come out. I was like, but he no tune too. He no tune. So there was that. Then you was fully entrenched in the Tricanal Juve and that whole Tricanal camp and experience. I think the only thing I see you do is dance on stage, like the actual.
You never see that?
I don't think I ever see a dance. You take a dance. I mean, you're playing and you're in the moment and everybody dancing.
I try to learn the choreography.
Because I was saying, but Rawkus do he MC the show. He DJing. He's doing the sequencer thing. Then you start to produce songs for Tricanal. I say, but what going on? But this it go had to be 4 or 5 canal by now. Yeah, so all these things happening, right? And actually the previous episode I talked to your spiritual predecessor, Cheney Mix. Che was on the last episode. So a lot of things echoing in terms of, getting into DJing and learning the craft and studying what you're doing. Right? And then into Tricanal and putting all those things into practice in real time, because a Tricanal Juve is a serious thing. Right? If you ever experience
Very
it.
serious thing.
If you ever experience it, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, hard luck.
Hard luck.
That ain't coming back again. So tell us about a memorable or the experience itself, what it meant to you, and I guess a memorable moment or a funny story from the Tricanal days. I'll tell you why I asked that.
There's plenty years of memories you're asking about there, boy.
Yeah, that is.
I can tell you at different stages I had different experiences, because I didn't start off as a DJ. I was in the camp, and Shell Shock was the DJ and Lynch Mob.
Right.
And I remember being like, yeah, this is a cool vibe. Like, this whole scene this is where Juve should be happening. And then when I was asked to DJ, I step up to the plate and do the thing. But I remember one of the times when I took over. So every Juve morning, to those who never experienced it, Three Canal starts the Juve, right? So they perform for the beginning part of Juve. Normally, that's take us all the way down to the end of Shagrid Road or somewhere there, right? Sometimes it might go all the way to the Savannah, but most times by the end of Shagrid Road, they coming up.
Yeah, by Green Corner.
And I remember,
yeah.
And I remember just before we get to Green Corner, we was by like Strand around there, right? Which will be the bottom of Donald Street and Shagrid Road. And they had now finished, and it was now time to play like, regular carnival music.
Yeah.
And I started, this was the year when Farmer bring out Big People Party.
Right, okay. I'm just trying to remember the intro.
No, it's not the intro. Don't think about the intro, because I had a version of it that started with the sax that is played the solo down in the end.
In the end, before the drum. Yeah.
And that's how it starts now, boy. And I swear, Valdez, like from the time I play it, everybody start chipping in time. Now the sax man playing a solo, and everybody chipping in.
They find the timing of the song itself.
With the sax man solo. So when that beat dropped, everybody was done.
Yeah.
That moment was like, yeah, we's all one. That's how it felt. It felt like we are one in this moment. And then the next, well, I have two more I could give you. One was same Shaggy Road again. I mean, for me, every time we bust the stage is always is a like that whole experience is always iconic, because they always try to stop it.
Listen,
powers that be forever trying to stop it.
I was telling
and bust through the barrier.
I was telling Roger, but that is part of the theater. The day that Three Canal reach up to the Savannah and they say, "Hey, morning, good Juve morning," and let Three Canal just go on the stage on a Juve morning, everybody will feel weird.
Nah, that's how it used to be before.
Yeah.
It's only in recent times it starts stopping. But so that's customary. That's part of it, right?
Yeah,
so
that's part of the theater.
Another Shaggy Road experience. I remember a morning, I look out the side of the truck. This was the year I think it was Walking Beauty we were singing at the time. And I look out the truck, and we pass in Naparu Cemetery. And I think I have a picture of it somewhere. And it's revelry in the road. Everybody paint down and thing. And I think it's like a sea of white.
White, it was white, yeah.
Splattered all over the place, right? And then there's this white wall. And on the other side of the wall is just death.
Listen, I have a picture, the same thing that we felt the same thing then, because I is only looking back, because by that time, spirits high. So I shoot and I taking pictures, and I think that's probably the last Juve I shot properly. And it's the same thing, boy. That same contrast, because it's not only it's a lot of life going on this side, and the cemetery on this side, but the cemetery has no lights, and everybody in white and is like down the middle is black and white, and it's real surreal, and it's only in looking back at the pictures, I was like, wait, that really happened, yes. And I think in that picture, there's Marvin is waving a flag, and the white of the flag is over on the cemetery side. I say, nice. Boy, look at that.
Yeah, that's also some image that sticks out in my mind when I think about Juve as well. And then the last one, boy, last one. I actually cried when they sang Jamming.
Yeah, that was a bittersweet moment too, man.
Yeah, boy. Yeah.
But we also had to to move on to other things in life. So that's how the thing go. So
the badness does go.
Yeah. I was glad to experience that myself and share that share those moments and those mornings with all you, and I appreciate all you going, because all you really take some licks on the road. Yeah, so thank you for that officially, Three Canal. Thank you, Rawkus, for holding down the fort and keeping the energy high, and you know, keeping us positive and all of that. And speaking of that, that is not the only band you have been involved with. You're currently involved with Freetown Collective. How did that come about?
Don't ask me the years. I can say about the years, right? But I mean, Mohammed was in CIC when I was there. He was a few years above me in school.
Right.
So we would have, you know, known each other. Not really so much from school, but you know, you see a man face.
Yeah, you know, that is somebody from school, yeah.
Yeah. But then like there was a underground scene, I guess you could call it. It was like the alternative music scene at the time. You know, when they were doing shows in Casa de Ibiza and in Woodford down in Movie Town and Shakers and all them places used to be having shows, right?
Yeah.
And well, Mohammed used to be on the scene doing his poetry. And you know, we know each other, cool, everybody cool. And then he met up with Lou and they started their band, and it used to be them on the guitars, and it was cool. It wasn't my cup of tea necessarily all the time, but it was cool.
I could see why you would say that.
And it was cool. People was digging it. And then I remember one day Lou asked me to come and listen to a new album that they were doing. And he took me by Sheriff. And you know, he was asking me what I thought about their music in general. And I kind of told him the same thing. I'm like, cool, people like what they're doing. So I say it's not always gonna be my cup of tea.
Right.
I think you need some hard beats and some things to make it funky. And when they played the album was based, the Born in Darkness album is what they played to me. And I was like, yes, this is the direction. This is the next step. It can't be there's totally on guitar forever. Like, come on.
And it's not Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah. And then after that, they invited me to work with them on a show. They had a show that was supposed to happen in the stadium called Borders. It was supposed to be a big festival.
Right.
And they were booked and they wanted to present a bigger sound. So they called me as a DJ to kind of back them up, but treat it like they have a band, not just a DJ.
Yeah.
And we, you know, curated a set. We did the work, we did the rehearsals, and then they canceled the show. And we sat there, we're like, but we didn't get to deliver the thing we've been working on. What are we gonna do? And I was like, guys, let me just do your own show.
Yeah.
Like, let me just do a show. And we did a show called FTC Black, I think it was. Or just FTC. We did it in Black Box for 2 nights. And we presented that new style of Freetown and people liked it.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, from there on in, I kind of just fall in.
And you pick up the bass, all kind of thing.
Well, I was now getting to that, right? when we were about to launch the Born in Darkness album, we converted Peter Minshall's Mass Camp. We emptied out the inside, well, most of the inside, and set up a stage and made it into a venue. And when we were rehearsing for that, there were quite a few moments, because they were so accustomed to just being them on the guitar, there were quite a few moments of just that now.
Right.
And I was like, well, in that moment, I'm kind of bored, guys.
Yeah, it was in transition still, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, in that moment, I just bored. What I gonna do? And in the studio, there was an acoustic bass guitar. So I picked it up. And I was watching Lou hands and what he was doing. And I was like, well, that is the root of the note there. And that is the root of that note. And that is the root of that. Oh, it's just 4 of them.
Right.
So I played the 4. And he watched me. And he's like, you can play bass? I'm like, nope. But we're going anyway. And so that was my kind of just, I was playing simple things as the songs. And then when he wanted something different, he would just tell me, because Lou plays bass extremely well. And he would just tell me what he wants, and he would teach me it, and we went from there. And during the pandemic, I did some classes with Tamu, big up Tamu.
Hey,
and he gave me some, he gave me some work to do, and I did some of the work, and I should get back to doing some more of it soon.
Yeah.
But
I had to check him for some lessons too myself, but
yeah.
Time will tell. Shout out to Tamu, Herwood.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, next man I had to talk to.
Club 86. Ask him about Club 86 when you talk to him.
Right. So nice. So we in the pocket to talk about you as a touring DJ and musician, because you're playing music with Freetown now and all, you're in and out. So
But my first gig touring outside was with Tricanal. Like, in terms of, we went to Womax in Spain.
right, yeah.
My mind was blown. I just finished school and I came back I wasn't even the samples man yet. I was working as an engineer with them, as a monitor engineer.
Okay.
And they took me to Spain for Womax, the World Music Expo.
Yeah.
I mean, with Tricanal, I went to London for the first time. I went to Spain. I went to, the States a few times with them as well. So that was my first introduction to, what's possible in terms of traveling the world doing music.
Yeah.
With Freetown, we've been to, it's a different experience because, of course, it's a different generation. And different people that we're dealing with in most cases. Some cases, it's some of the same players that still in the game. But with Freetown, we've been to, the UK, we've been to Canada, we've been to the States, Dominica. I went to Dominica for the first time with them. Grenada. But Tobago, does that count? I don't know.
Well, boy.
But yeah, we've been to a few
the way how
places,
things going, you might have to get a stamp when you go to Tobago now, yes?
I know a joke to make, no?
I'm telling
you. We've been to Scotland. We went to Scotland with both Tricanal and Freetown as well. Yeah, it's been a nice journey, man.
All right. I have a question about your outlook or your engagement in terms of before you went away to school and after in your return. What was the difference in your approach in, well, pretty much the DJing and being involved in a band?
Well, I wasn't in a band before, right? So that was brand new when I came back. That part of things was brand new. So I was on the job training. I was learning what it is and how to apply it, but using my DJ perspective.
Right, okay.
Because in my head, I'm not a musician, I'm a DJ. And I'm going to do this like I DJ and just inside the band. Because in a lot of regards, I still don't consider myself a musician per se. Because a lot of times when musicians start to talk, their language just sound like gibberish to me.
Right.
And I just had to be like, nah, translate that into human. Because whatever you're saying there and doing there is not...
Or translate it into DJ.
Yeah, translate it into DJ, right?
Yeah.
So I think that for me, the DJing, what did I do differently? I think I appreciated what we have a little bit more because I saw how other people appreciated what we have and how they also appreciated their own. When I was working, I was DJing on this like boat. It was like essentially a boat ride, like a dinner boat ride, right? But it was very fancy and elegant and whatnot, and people would come out for. But it was a wide variety, right? Like I would have Italian.
Guys like them lake boats and thing.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes, it was in
the long flat ones. Yeah.
No, it's enclosed. It's enclosed. It's like a boat, like a proper ship.
Yeah.
And people would come, they would have dinner, they would get up and dance. Sometimes it's have 2 floors, sometimes it's 1 floor, whatever the case might be, right? And my boss at the time, the guy who showed me, he was like, yeah, this is the job, and he took me on a boat ride with him as the DJ. And as a mic man, like his job was to hype up the place. He couldn't mix 2 songs together. He would hire somebody to mix for him, and he just up front there with the mic, working the crowd, right? I think I learned a big chunk of really working a crowd from him.
This is why you're a good wedding DJ too.
Yeah. Like that gave me a real wedding DJ experience, bro.
Because that is the skill set.
Bro, when I tell you.
You gotta get people up to dance.
But here the part that shocked me, right, is this man in the middle of the thing called for Colin Lucas dollar wine. This is a white man from Boston. Never been to Trinidad. He called for dollar wine. And that man dropped, you know them soca artists ball low?
Yeah.
He get them all low from the top. Right?
and the song is playing, as in the verse has started, and this man is talking over the verse. I am baffled, right? Because in my head,
Cardinal sin. Yeah, Cardinal sin.
They're not. Dog, the whole party had to sing, woy, woy, woy. Like, that's what you want, right?
Yeah.
So you're not going to talk over that part. But that's because we already know the song.
Yeah.
In Trinidad and Tobago, right? He playing this song for a bunch of people that never heard the song before. And he know the song. But that is not the punchline he looking for, right? He looking for the cent, 5 cent, 10 cent dollar.
Yeah.
So he is teaching them the dance over the whole of the first verse, over the whole of the intro, and the whole of the first verse. This man
Which Colin Lucas kind of did in the first verse too, but...
Yeah, but he does it in song. This man is doing it in speak, right? So that people are very clear.
Right.
There's no two ways about it. He is telling you, you are pretending like you have 5 cents here, 1 cent here, you pretend like you have 5 cents here, you pretend like you have 10 cents behind, and you're right under your belt, you're sticking it down. Let me practice it. And he practiced, this is all over the verse happening. So you say, all right. So we're ready now, we're doing it in 10 minutes.
I wish it have a video of that somewhere, but I wish.
Bro, and the party do the cent, 5 cent, 10 cent dollar. And I was like standing up there like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
These kind of things happen on maritime vessels, trust me.
Right? And then now, so when I did it, I mean, I did something similar because I'm like, I have to teach you people or whatever. And when I did it, of course, the reaction I get is out of this world because they're like, now a Trini and by that, at that point, I had dreadlocks. So I was a dreadlocked boy with a dark-skinned dreadlocked boy with a Trinidadian accent who could DJ. And I'm miking and doing these things too. They were having a time. I get enough tips and all kind of wildness.
Yeah.
But that experience, I think, had an effect on how I see us appreciate, the ability to appreciate what we have. Like, we don't always explore it properly. But also, you know, being in college, and every time you turn on the radio, it's the same 15 songs playing, right? And they'll play for like a month, and then the next month you have they change out like 4 of them, and you get to realize, but they always have, like on the Boston station especially, they always had about 2 Boston artists on rotation, and they would highlight the fact that they are Boston artists. And I think that clicked something in me. So when I came back to Boom Champions, that's some of the things that I applied. Is like, no guys, we need to make sure that we play in something local right through. Yeah. Even if it's dancehall, even if it's hip hop, if it's something else, like we had to make sure that we're doing that. And I will let people know that they're local and be proud of it. And I think we had a hard local feature at some point as well. That was it impacted on the way that I approached what I was coming back home to do. Yeah. And sometimes it didn't really have an active impact. It was more of a passive impact, and I just did what I had to do.
All right, so we'll take a little break there again, and when we at a nice point, because when we come back, we're going to take what you now say there, and we're going to move forward into your television career, and we'll sort out the sort outs by the end of the time we talk about that.
Milking this, boy. You're milking this.
We will. So when we come back, the man says bacchanal. I don't think it's bacchanal, right? But
we'll see.
We have something to talk about, and we want to get your opinion. So we'll take a break, and we're coming right back.
Need to raise funds for your next creative project, event, or invention? Or maybe you or a family member are raising funds for much-needed medical treatment. Now, you can get started raising that much-needed cash via Donate68.com, the newest 100% homegrown crowdfunding platform in Trinidad and Tobago. Donate68.com accepts donations from all major credit cards, but not only that, for those without a credit card, you can use your everyday Visa debit card to make donations. So log on today and create a campaign for your next passion project, startup, or cause. Share your campaign with your community of family, friends, and supporters to get the financial backing you need. Donate68.com, funding your culture.
Right, so we back with my boy Jayron, DJ Rawkus. Look at funny thing there, man. Make sure and come to brand business. Hey, you don't play. DJ Rawkus, Remy. Right, so we following the journey we following the contrast and the change and the growth from being in Trinidad and, you know, already getting your feet wet, heading out to the US to study your craft and hone your skills and amass new skills as well. Coming back to Trinidad, making the decision more so to come back to Trinidad and spreading your wings and establishing yourself here. And if you all people watching familiar with the promo for this show, you would see that I include. Listen, I just work real hard on that, you know. Anyway, you would see that we included the phrase "man of many hats," right? Now, this man, I made a joke with him. It was last year before, that I got to get a hat rack for Christmas. You remember that? Because the man, DJ, musician, producer, actor, television presenter, show host, what again? Promoter.
I'm a cultural entrepreneur. I'm a cultural entrepreneur.
Cultural entrepreneur. Event planner. Boy, all kind of thing. This
under the bracket. Cultural entrepreneur.
This man, boy, is the busiest. You had to be the busiest man in Trinidad show business, boy. So we moving on to you're already DJing, you're producing, you're playing with bands, you're touring with bands, which many don't get to do out the gate. And you're on radio, then you're on TV. I remember this. What was the show you were doing with the Calypsonians?
Vintage Unplugged.
Vintage Unplugged with Jabs.
Jabs? No, Kyle.
Who's the guitarist? Sorry.
Kyle Peters.
Kyle Peters. Sorry,
yeah.
Kyle. So you have this show running. What was the genesis of that?
If you wanna talk about TV, we could go all the way back to, you know, when me and Gonzo started to do our thing. We would try. I don't even remember how it ended up, but we end up inside Synergy, and we would be DJing for some of the Synergy shows randomly. I remember we DJed when we were working 98.9. They had this party flavor show.
I was thinking party time, but you might have been too young for party time. So party flavor.
Nah, not party time. Party flavor.
Party flavor, yeah. It was a party something. Yeah.
Yeah. And then when I was in
Form 6, I remember a group of friends and I in school, when I was in Corpus Christi, a couple of the girls and I sat down and came up with this idea for a TV show. And we took a maxi and went by Gael and drop off the idea and asked to meet with Errol Fabian. And he was like, yeah, let me do it. And we went, what?
You had to love them fellas, no boy.
I had to unpair the thing from my car.
Boy, just now, the car will be driving itself and telling you it's time to go to your next meeting.
I mean, I wouldn't mind if I had a chauffeur like that. All right, so where were we? Because I do have to go pick up my child in a little while.
Yeah. We have about 10 minutes or 10:15 again. So off the maxi to Gael.
Right, we were in Gael. So we did that show in Gael. It was just for the August vacation, the July-August vacation. And it was a kind of cool experience because we got to do a lot of the production work ourselves and the plan and the pre-plan. And I think we learned a lot.
Yeah.
The others weren't as interested as I was. And well, after that, I went away. And when I came back, I went back to Gael to do a show that was capturing the essence of Trinidad and Tobago, essentially, for Carnival. So we would go around to mass camps and pan tuning places, go and check Moko Jumbies, go and do the usual run of things that you guys do for Carnival when it comes to highlighting things on TV.
Right.
And of course, one of those things was with Calypsonians as well. And the girl who was producing that show at the time got a job at CNC3 and got an opportunity to produce a show called Front Row.
Yes.
Stacey White was her name, is her name. And Stacey called me to do a vintage segment in front row. And we did it. And after about 2 or 3 years of doing that segment in front row, they wanted vintage to become its own show. And it did. And we had about 3 or 4 seasons of, I think, some of my favorite work. I mean, some of it is cringe when I look back at it, but
I mean, just for the wardrobe alone, brother. It was like
big up down.
Yo, that is requisite viewing just for the wardrobe. It's like this man going on. What he going on when next week? Yeah. And then you would have the Calypsonians and them, in studio and breaking down the tunes and performing just them and the guitarist, and that was, that is the essence.
Magic.
That's the essence of the Calypso
magic.
thing. Yeah.
I get to listen to sit down and be in a room with all these people that my father have their records. And I hear now again to talk to them and experience the real thing. It was
full circle moment, huh?
Yeah. And it didn't feel so in the moment. Admittedly, I was just doing what I was supposed to do.
Right.
And I was doing what I thought I needed to do at that point in time. And some of the impact of it would hit me after, like way after. So like Carnival Monday and Tuesday, when people see me in the road and say, "Hey, you the man from TV Vintage," or people just used to ball out Vintage whenever they see me. And like that's when I realized, oh wait, people appreciate this show. Okay, that's a good thing.
Nice.
But like we said earlier, all things come to an end at some point.
Right. So we're moving on from CNC3 to to the big house.
Now here's the thing, right? All these things that we're talking about, they were kind of all happening simultaneously. Like I was working boom when I was I working during Vintage times, boy? No, that might have been after. That might have been after. But Tricanal was definitely still happening.
Yeah, Tricanal was a constant throughout this whole thing.
DJ was a constant throughout it as well.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then I went to work at Napa after that. After Boom Champions, I went to work at Napa as an audio technician because
because that's here. Finally you get to do.
Finally, I put my degree to use.
Right.
And I went to be an audio technician at Napa, which in itself was another, I think, very much of a learning experience, culturally speaking, because people don't realize the variety of shows that come into theater spaces in Trinidad.
Sir, you're absolutely right.
Everything from conferences to Chinese exchange cultural programs, to Spanish flamenco shows, to comedy, to concerts, to like actual theater productions.
Yeah. I went to shout out to the staff and admin and management, everybody in Napa, lecturers, teachers, everybody, security and all, because those programs that they're running there, you're right, is such a wide range of variety, yo. I went to a play reading, so it's just actors reading the well, I can't say screenplay, but their parts of a play, and they just sitting down with the the little lectern thing, and it was totally engrossing, boy. It was like, yo.
But you talking about in the school, right?
No, it was in Kitchener thing on the stage.
Oh, okay.
So the audience was also, I should say that the audience was also on the stage.
On the stage, and
the actors were there with the script and everything, and they were just reading out. Well, not just reading out, it's actors, it's professional.
They were voice acting as well.
Yeah, so listen, that you could see it, and went to a lot of different things in Napa. So shout out to the technical staff, yourself, and like Lala.
Yeah, man, big up Lala.
Shout
everybody.
Yeah, Tony, everybody.
The point I was making was that that experience gave me
a different perspective on what we have to offer. Because it's like, if you don't go to all these shows, and who can afford to go to all these shows, right?
That too.
You wouldn't get all the experiences, but working there, I was able to see so many shows, engineer some of them, set up and break down most of them. So that you get to appreciate A, what the people are putting into the productions, B, to see the different levels of production values that we have, and C, generally to be able to just appreciate and learn more.
Yeah.
Every day, it was just like you're learning something new again.
Yeah, just the exposure to it is an education in itself.
Yeah, definitely. And then one day, I got a call offering me a job on radio, on a shift on radio on Next 99.1 FM.
Right.
And I spoke to my managers at Napa, and they were like, "Yeah, we could work it out," and we worked it out. So that my shift would fall when I'm not on the radio shift, as the case may be.
Yeah, because I was wondering how you pull that off. I really thought it had like 3 or 4 of you, but
We just need communication. Is how you pull things off in Valdez. If
Yeah.
you communicate with people in a respectful way, most times they reciprocate.
all right. All right, listen to Valdez. Okay. I'll make a note of that. Communicate in a respectful way. Okay, I'll try.
Try.
Yes. It's a new year. I'll put that on the list of resolutions.
Nice, man. But yeah, and I did that for a little while, for like about 2 years, I think. 18, 19, 20, maybe 3 years. Wow. And then I think in 2019, I moved across to Talk City. And then then I was asked in 2020, January, to do a guest appearance, as they wanted DJs on the Now morning show. So they asked me if I would do it one morning, and I was like, yeah, sure, why not?
Which was kind of interesting for me. I was like, but this hour of the morning, you want this kind of thing. But I guess it probably mirrored the morning time radio as well.
But also it was
DJs on the
Carnival,
talk.
you know.
Oh, okay, right.
So they had artists passing through to perform and that kind of thing as well. So it wasn't weird, really. It was just it felt like the season, you know.
And but then it continued though.
Well, I came in up to be a guest DJ, and then they called me back to be a guest DJ again, and then they were like, well, you can engage with the host, you know? And they liked the engagement between me and Carrie at the time.
Right.
And then Lisa I think she was sick. So she was out for like a couple of weeks. And they just tell me, well,
I said, oh, any channel.
Yeah, well, come on, hold on. So I would DJ and kind of host it with Carrie. And then when Lisa came back, she kind of spent maybe, I want to say, like a month or 2. But when Lisa came back, it was also like COVID had hit. Right after Carnival kind of thing, COVID had hit. And so Lisa came back and was dealing with that from that perspective. But she kept me on the show because she was like, she liked what I added to the show. So she kept me on.
Right.
And then she decided she was leaving. And they decided to keep me, and I was there for 5 years. After Lisa, there was Natalie Lagore.
This is Lisa Wickham, right?
Lisa Wickham,
Right,
the one and
right,
only.
yeah.
One and only Lisa Wickham.
Just so it's said and not assumed.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. I should have said her full name. My apologies, Miss Wickham. And then there was Natalie Lagore, and then Kimberly D'Souza. And then the final iteration of the show would have been just the 3 of us, Natasha, Lake, Kubanali now, and Ayanka Will and myself. Ayanka was there from before with Lisa as well, but she used to come on as a guest sometimes.
Right,
She wasn't
okay.
like, as consistent as we ended up being down to the end.
That was a nice blend of personalities. I like the episodes that I saw and the clips and so on. I liked all your banter and all your just flow in the show. It was really relaxed and natural, you know.
Give thanks.
Yeah. And then You're on Talk City as well. Doing did it start with the brunch?
Yeah, when they moved me across the Talk City, they told me I had Saturday mornings 9 to 12. Come up with a concept, and I came up with the Saturday brunch.
And that ran for how long?
It would have been about 6 years, I guess.
And
Yeah.
in those 6 years, you know, the show cemented itself as a mainstay in a lot of people's Saturday morning.
Glad to hear that.
Yeah. It take a little while because you was fighting Giles Peterson, but you make me if you make me rest down Giles on a Saturday morning, so that is a serious thing, brother. Congratulations for that. And on top of that, you get me to start calling in on a radio show. Which
That part I felt most accomplished about.
Listen, I was like, nah, boy, because for years, people, I listen in the show. When I happen to be on listening at the same time, and I would be messaging this man on WhatsApp. Play this thing. Boy, that song real bad, boy. You remember this what? And then I realized, I say, wait. This ain't really making sense. I mean, it working. We having our conversation, but he would respond to me because the man working on radio, right? So he would respond to me over the air. So I was like, but oh gosh, if we we having our conversation or whatever, I might as well, just call in and I make the commitment to do that in earnest. Last 2 years, and the show going good, and it branched out and blossomed into being an event. So yes.
That was the plan from jump.
Oh, really?
Like it wasn't the plan, it was the dream. Like when I said, I'm doing the Saturday brunch, like when I came up with the idea, I was like, all right, after a year, we will do it and build it up till it become a event.
Right.
And it'll be the biggest event, the biggest Saturday morning event ever. Like that was the dream. And it took quite a few years before I said, all right, no, I think we're ready to take it live.
And so testament to like you said before, the skill set that you acquired with setting up and planning events and paying out promotions and things like that. So all those things, in your toolkit already. So it's just to pull them out and we will there will be more Saturday brunch events, I'm sure. I don't think with the current with the current situation that that idea or that initiative is dead as well.
There's a question in there.
Is it?
Valdez?
Is it?
You made a statement.
Is it?
You made a statement. There's no question in there, Valdez. Carry on, smart.
Question mark.
Time will tell.
All right. Fair enough. We still it still has some dust. Still has some dust to settle. So let me just pull the band-aid off, right? So I'll get them a story. So what was this? 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I was in the Newtown Woodbrook area, and I see my boy Rawkus going to lunch from.
This is where you're taking this from.
Yes. Going to lunch from. No, I'll take it back. I'll take it back the weekend before, right?
Yeah.
So listening to the show, which is the last show of the year 2025, and I listen in the show, and I must say, Rawkus hitting all the notes, right? I say, I wonder if you play the Amatics, boy. He played the smart man. I say, oh shucks, Dave have a new tune. I wonder if while I type in to tell Rawkus, hey, make sure and play that Dave, boy. Dave have a nice little tune. The man play the tune. I say, well, I don't have to call into the show. I good for the day. But I still call in to just give the man thanks and to big him up and show appreciation for the contribution, for the year and wish him all the best for 2026 and the future of one of my favorite radio shows, right? And then remembered the Watchman. There's a Watchman. That is what make my call. The Watchman song that I wanted to attack with full force, right? So I was trying. We were both trying to remember the name of this song on the air, and I know when Rawkus can't find a tune, it does bother him, and it bother me. So your boy. So I say right. So we have homework to do, and next week, which would have been the first show for 2026, we're going to rinse out that tune and we're going to talk some things because war was on the horizon as well. And knowing Watchman, who is somebody I want to get on the show, if anybody have a contact for Watchman, just tell him, holla at me, and we go sort outs, right?
If I could talk, because you have source that contact for you.
Nice, please, because that is a man we need to talk to now, because he ain't holding back. We know we will hear the real scoop from Wayne Haid, right? So I say, right, your boy watch about 3 hours of Watchman videos and Calypso showcase footage and all kind of thing on this man. So I prime and I ready to have a nice little talk with my boy Rawkus Saturday morning, which would have been Saturday the 3rd of January. I see Rawkus the 29th of December in Woodbrook going to lunch. Because he working TTT. Going to lunch. I say, ting. I find the tune. I go send you the link on them. He say, yeah, we go talk about it Saturday. Saturday come. I turn on the radio. No Rawkus. What going on? What is full Dennis Plummer? What is this? Text the man. What happening here? Innocently I assumed you had a show with Freetown the night before and it went on and whatever. I just building a story in my head that makes sense at the time. Because I can't believe what it is you tell me thereafter, which was
I don't remember what I tell you.
Wait.
I don't remember what. I don't want to misquote myself. I don't remember
long story short, my boy was not at the.
I no longer work there.
Right. No longer work there. And and all that transpired within that week. So I was shocked, caught aghast, and dismayed. Where's that one, boy?
The board decided that they wanted to go a different direction with quite a few things, so they made some changes.
Right.
And I was, and the show, I guess, was part of what they wanted to change. But this is not a new phenomenon. This is something that has happened before, and it happens all the time when governments change, regimes change, party and power change. They tend to. And even in private sector, right? If it is you hire a new VP of whatever in a company, chances are they're gonna probably make some changes to the department. They're gonna, weed out some people who they don't want, or they might find some people to be not useful and say, well, we're wasting time and money here, and they will, or they might simply decide, all right, we ain't selling that product no more, and everybody who's working on that product could go home and we will start another product.
Right.
That happens in public and private life and sector all the time, so it's just another one of those times. And I think is also the universe saying it's time to move on to whatever the next thing is.
Yeah, that's
I was honestly a little bit scared for my own health, looking at the calendar of Freetown events that we
right, yeah,
and trying to manage doing that and the morning show.
Yeah, your time management is a serious thing for real.
Yeah, and I was concerned about it. Like in December, I was a little bit concerned about it. And then God just say, here what now? I'm gonna clear away some of these other things so you could sleep during the day sometimes. And
have a 2-hour interview in the middle of the week.
when I'm supposed to go and pick up my child out of the car and then from school, they're waiting for me in the school right now. Valdez have me in a chokehold.
All right. I'll release you just now. But so 2 things, right? Now that that's said and it's out in the air, right? That's the reason I wear in this jersey, because it reminds me of Coach Harbaugh, right? Now, Coach Harbaugh had a brilliant team, and on paper, it was a favorite to go on and win the Super Bowl. For a few years, we always had, for the past 3 years, the quarterback was the best quarterback. We had best defense, high ranking offense, everything. And for some reason, things just used to fall apart, and we wouldn't reach as far as we should. The Baltimore Ravens wouldn't reach as far.
That's how all the sports fans are talk.
Yes. I catch myself doing that too. But they didn't reach as far as they should have according to their potential, right? So as a result, the coach was sacked, which is how the business does run. Now, as a parallel, like I say in the beginning and in the promo, everything going and makes sense. So as a parallel to your situation and the situation with the show and your contribution to the TTT Corporation, your and the connection to make this international as well. Your show has won awards has won broadcasting awards, right?
The Saturday Brunch won Best Entertainment Program on Radio twice, 2024 and 2025.
Right. So I'm trying to find, based on your diplomatic and mature reasoning, why would the leadership, the administration of an organization that is a broadcasting organization stop I just being bitter, because what's done is done, but I want to say what I want to say. Why would they cut an award-winning show from the roster? And I don't need you to answer that, because you're not I ain't want to put you in that position. Like I said, what's done is done, but I just want to leave that question in the air for people to think about it.
Here's the thing, Valdez. Here's the thing, right? And the reality that we're not willing to deal with is that people measure things. And the measurement by which you deem something successful oftentimes has monetary value attached to it.
Okay.
Yeah? So we look at our culture, and if we can't figure out a way to make money off of it, it's not successful. To figure out a way to make money off of it in order to deem it successful. We don't oftentimes measure the social impact. We don't oftentimes measure behavioral changes that can come from involving a bunch of youths in pan, or involving people in mass making, creative people who have a stir about them that they can't sit down for too long. But when you put them to make something, they could focus enough to make that thing. Whatever.
For hours, yeah.
Yeah, and they could do that for hours, right? And days in a mass camp, you could sit down doing that. Like, we don't understand the value that comes with things like that. And oftentimes, what we teach children is, for a long time, we've been teaching people, you want profit, right? You want things to make financial sense. Because you don't want it to be that you've seen so many examples of Calypsonians who were once big and mighty, and then in the end, they come in cap in hand begging for money because they have time and fun or whatever the case might be. And people always like to say, oh, you didn't set up the thing properly. And it's like, we expect so much of them in terms of songwriting, production, performance, administrative work. You expect them to be great at all of it.
Yeah.
That's not how it is worked.
But it's not fair either, yeah.
And it's not fair, but also most times, unfortunately, the people who are coming to say, I want to set up the business of this thing for you, it doesn't always work out in the favor of the artists involved. Now we see a shift in that culture, but generally speaking, we for a long time have measured the success of culture. And especially like the things that we would do on Saturday brunch is not the run of the mill things, it's not the pop culture.
Yeah.
Is culturally potent.
Mm.
I remember doing a show right after Roy K passed, and I would have read from his book because
Yeah.
I bought the book years before, and I got it signed and everything, right? And I was reading from the book. I took excerpts. I just like you say, how much work he is doing preparation for the show.
Yeah.
Like I literally went through the book and I bookmarked pages that I wanted to read. I found the songs related to what we were talking about,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, all right, I'm presenting this Saturday, and I remember doing it, and I was feeling a how about it because I was like, I don't know how people would take it. I feel like I just droning on and on and on, right?
Yeah.
Nobody was calling. Nobody was sending messages. Nobody was nothing. And I did that from 9 till about 11:30, I think. And then as soon as I finished and I said I was finished and I played the last song, and I was like, to get to the top, we will play whatever selections or they want or they call and tell me. And the phone lines went crazy.
Yeah.
Immediately. And everybody called saying how much they appreciated what I was doing.
Because it was riveting, man.
I didn't realize that, and oftentimes it's like when you're doing that work, you don't realize it, right? And you saying it was riveting. But then, from a business perspective, it's not adding any value to the coffers. So if it is, you're winning awards, but you can't monetize that. I don't know. I don't know how do we learn to value, learn to monetize, I don't know which one of it is, but we definitely have a shortcoming there as Trinbagonians in terms of how we measure that value.
Yeah, because the fallout of that is things like that just wouldn't exist. And
well, we live in a time of social media where people like you now can be inspired to say, well, I want to do a radio show as well, and now you featuring people who we may have never heard about otherwise in some cases.
The only reason I hear is just to do my little part,
Same thing with me, bro. I was just doing my little part.
Like I was telling Jay last week, I didn't, when I came up with the idea for the show, it was out of the yearning for the show to exist, not to necessarily be the host of the show.
Right. Well, the thing is, if you want it, you have to do it,
Yeah, and yeah, so
ideas come to everybody.
Yeah, so here we are.
Execute it. Who's willing to put in the work that's required? And you decided to step up, so congratulations to you.
Yeah. Thank you, especially coming from you. I know that ain't just lip service. So yeah, so that was the story of the last Saturday brunch on radio earlier. Funny enough, like I was telling Rawkus earlier this week, I was the last person to call into the show, boy.
Boy.
Aye. That hit me when? That hit me Tuesday, Wednesday last week. I say, but wait. When I think back, I was the last person called on the show. And that was the year I say, yes, I'm making the effort. And when I have something to say, I'm going to call into the show.
This is a good thing.
Yeah, well, yeah. So
exactly. Imagine how much you would have regretted if you didn't.
Well, yeah, that is life, eh? So, and that is a story of why I'm here too. So, imagine how you would have feel if you didn't.
If you didn't.
Yeah,
exactly.
that is so. Like I said earlier, it's all going to make sense. So, so we're talking about taking the opportunities, recognizing the opportunities, so that we don't regret not taking the opportunities, so that we don't regret being in the position to take our opportunity and throwing it away. This is the kind of sentiment I want the people who watch this show in the future, the children, because I does real cuss, right? Rawkus know I does cuss. But I am making the concerted effort, and look, my eye twitching because I want to cuss. But I'm not good.
I wasn't sure about the rules of cursing.
Listen, I want to cuss, but
but here's the thing, right? Like I wanted to as well at some point in time. I'm not clear on the rules, so maybe I shouldn't. And I just decided to not.
Right, thank you. The reason being, and this is the first time I'm addressing it, this is the first time I'm saying it on, and being recorded. I'm not going to cuss because I want children to watch this show. I want young teenagers, people who now finding out what what a spark is, who looking for advice from somebody who was successful in a field that they're interested in. Because the tags and the metadata and all of that, they go come up when they're searching for this and that, so on. So from actor from Trinidad, music producer from Trinidad, economist from Trinidad, them kind of things, right? So I wanted to be, to be legally legally palatable to children and the young minds, right? But
somebody teach them, right?
Yes, somebody had to do it. And a lot of our education and a lot of our skills transfer in Trinidad and the Caribbean is through stories. And our stories are, in that regard, very important. And we need to record them. We need to get them from the people as much as we can firsthand. We need to talk to them while they're alive. And we need to make sure that it's available for the future of this country, so that we advance and improve and add on to our story together. So I'm glad, and like I also said, I just wanted a little closure. So this was this was a little selfish thing, because like I said as well, Isaac QB on this team, right? So I had to call her audible, and get you on. Thank you for giving me, some of your time. When we bounce up in person, we go knock our glass and say goodbye to the past and welcome to the future. And more success to you, my brother. Thank you for the work you have done. I appreciate everything you've done so far. I admire your career, I admire your professionalism, and I want to tell you that, right? So we have it now. It recorded. Go and pick up your chair now.
Thank you very much. And thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Also, you're a traveling musician as well. So this has been your, is a kind of hybrid, because this is inter-outer view, because you're not in the studio, but you're in Trinidad. So we kind of mix. I mix up my own rules there now. So the next interview, when you're outside of Trinidad, I might have to come and check you. But yeah. So
Gotta fix it.
Yeah, I'd check the rule book and see and see what we could do. But I know you had to get going. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being on International. Thank you for being a shining example of professionalism, decorum, and just being someone at home and intimate with the culture and making it cool too. We'll talk. We have more things to talk, but
I'm ready for the part 2.
That's for your outer view. We go sort out that. So yeah. Later, Rawkus. Take care. Thanks for joining us.
Take care.
Yeah, man.
Need to raise funds for your next creative project, event, or invention? Or maybe you or a family member are raising funds for much-needed medical treatment. Now, you can get started raising that much-needed cash via Donate68.com, the newest 100% homegrown crowdfunding platform in Trinidad and Tobago. Donate68.com accepts donations from all major credit cards, but not only that, for those without a credit card, you can use your everyday Visa debit card to make donations. So log on today and create a campaign for your next passion project, startup, or cause. Share your campaign with your community of family, friends, and supporters to get the financial backing you need. Donate68.com, funding your culture.
there you have it. The real good interview. I really enjoyed that, boy. A nice little talk with Jayron Remy there, going through his career. Career thus far, upbringing, roots, education, skills, and professional exposure, right? So I really appreciate that. We had to squeeze in that one in the nick of time. So thank you again, Rawkus, for your time, right? So to those who on the broadcast list and get the message with the little videos up to promote the show and thing, you would realize that it's 2 out of the 3 things I promised today, right? So we do the traveling. We went to Boston with Rawkus. We went to Baltimore with the Ravens, and we talked about Coach Harbour and all of that. And we were supposed to go Europe. We had the fingers crossed, right? We still had the fingers crossed, and I'll go explain. Remember, I say everything will make sense, right? So this year is my travel flag, right? This flag don't leave the house unless I leave in the country. And I take out this flag today to make a declaration, right? I'm going to make sure I have it on thing. Right. You see the soca sliders, Trinidad bobsled team, right now, the future is kind of hanging in the balance. They're waiting on the official declaration on if they qualify for Winter Olympics or not. So it will be a few days again. I contacted the captain of the team, Axel Brown, earlier today to have a little quick call with them that we couldn't accomplish because, well, the members in transit and he himself is in transit, so we wouldn't have been able to catch up with him. But suffice it to say, they're waiting on the official results. If they indeed do qualify for Winter Olympics in Italy, the performance has been encouraging thus far. They had 2 good results last weekend in Lake Placid in the 2-man and 4-man bobsled events. And like I say, fingers crossed for them to go Italy. But I also want to make a declaration because I fully into this thing now. I obsessed with this bobsled thing. So I don't know how it's going to happen, but I putting it out in the universe. Today's Wednesday, I might win the lotto or some kind of thing. But if Soca Sliders Trinidad bobsled team qualify for Winter Olympics, I go in and I'm saying it in big, I'm saying it now, right? So I make that declaration and God help me, I go ahead and stand by it if we qualify for the Olympics, and I'm hoping that happen. So keep all your fingers crossed. Remember, donate 68. We might need a little dust to I don't know, pay for Uber ride or some kind of thing. But we will work it out. Time is upon us. We have the cast of the next show. I think I see them pulling there. Nelly Katoy and DJ Shots for the Wednesday's S, the midweek S. Congratulations so far to Nelly. She doing a brilliant job representing in the Calypso arena. Took her in on Sunday in the Calypso Queens competition, and she in the finals. So one of 16 contestants in the finals. Yeah, I think so. So we also keeping fingers crossed and rooting for her. Performance Sunday was real good. I didn't know Nelly had all that performance and throat and dance and choreography, all kind of thing. I'm thoroughly impressed. So we're looking forward to her doing well in the finals, and we're looking forward to the steam in this S in a few minutes, right? A few shout outs quick. Had some birthdays this week. My little niece, hey Nai, happy belated. She will watch this one someday in the future. My boy Damian Archie, big birthday tomorrow. I hear to have a big Capricorn event. Whatever happen, we Lyman tomorrow. Shout out to everybody watching the show, still watching live, watch the whole thing up until now. Shout out to the people who blessed we up on Donate 68 thus far. Wells boy, we trying to have the show all together before next week. So I guess that is it. We'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us. For the people who watching this in the future, thanks for taking it in anyway. We hope you enjoy it. Please send us your comments and suggestions. Anybody with Watchman number, send it to me now, please. I really want to talk to Watchman. We need a steady voice in that whole security, that whole national security and that policing field and all of them things. I'll go work it out once I get a number. That will make sense. So thank you for joining us on International. Hope to see you next week. Hope to see more of you next week. And later, be safe. Peace.
Need to raise funds for your next creative project, event, or invention? Or maybe you or a family member are raising funds for much-needed medical treatment. Now, you can get started raising that much-needed cash via Donate68.com, the newest 100% homegrown crowdfunding platform in Trinidad and Tobago. Donate68.com accepts donations from all major credit cards, but not only that, for those without a credit card, you can use your everyday Visa debit card to make donations. So log on today and create a campaign for your next passion project, startup, or cause. Share your campaign with your community of family, friends, and supporters to get the financial backing you need. Donate68.com, funding your culture.